Hello everybody, welcome. Today's topic, keeping in the enchanted leadership genre. A lot of you that know me know that I love leadership and talking all things leadership. So if you have questions about leadership, please email me, go join Possibilities Cafe, because I think part of being a leader, a good leader, is seeing possibilities. It's understanding what's possible in your team. When you look at team members, are they fulfilling their potential? Do they see what's possible? Because a lot of times they don't. But I digress. I want to talk today about dysfunctional teams. I've had some people ask me, what's the 411 on dysfunctional teams? And I truly believe a dysfunctional team is one step, one tweak away from being a great team. Because a dysfunctional team is basically, they are following the wrong leader. They're not following the leader that, and I'll say I'm the leader of a dysfunctional team. They're not following me. They're following somebody in that team. And it's never who you think it is. I have learned over time that it is never the person that you think. You'll look over at somebody and we'll call her Susie, and you'll think Susie's the bad apple. She's the cancer. And chances are it's not, and a lot of times the person is the one closest to you, the leader, because they're able to use their influence with you to get the team to line up behind them. They're the ones that sit and tell you, oh my gosh, that's a fantastic idea. And then they'll go out and tell everybody what a bad idea. The true leader of teams, when you have a team and you're the leader, you're the CEO, within every group is another leader, because that's how groups function. They look to you for guidance, but then within themselves, whether it's a group of caregivers, it could be a group, a baseball team or a softball team for women. It could be whatever it is within their subset of groups is another leader. And you have to figure out which person that is that's leading. And again, it's tricky because a lot of times it's not going to be who you think it is. It's going to be the person that sits quietly, that agrees with you, yeah, okay, or disagrees. Sometimes they can disagree with you, but they won't make a scene or argue with you. They'll just be like, okay. And then when you leave, they'll look at everybody and say, okay, girls, they're okay, team. This is what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to go over this way. I know she said go that way. We're going this way. So a dysfunctional team, if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to take the time and examine each person and really kind of watch each person on the team to figure out, one, who the leader is, and two, who's the cancer. And sometimes the leader's the cancer. And if that's the case, that makes it easy because you've got one person. The cancer is the hardest person to turn to good because they have an issue. They have a beef against you. They're mad about something, or they don't like their job, or they don't like the fact that they're not the boss. Why can't they be the boss? Oh, sure, you went to college, or you did this, or you did that, but I'm older than you, or I'm smarter than you because I've done this work forever and you've never done it. We're named CEO. All that stuff runs there. And so they're constantly behind the scenes and everybody else saying, follow me, I've done this for 23 years. When, sure, they've done it for 23 years, but they have a really bad attitude. Teams want to function highly. You'll meet very few teams that express goal is to not work properly, to not glow, because everybody wants to be recognized. Now, some people run, some people you can recognize a little bit and they'll run for 20 miles. Other people you have to constantly recognize. But that's part of being a leader. I think one of the biggest parts of leadership is understanding people. I mean, I love human behavior. I love watching people, and I love watching why people do what they do. I am fascinated by people and how they act and how they interact. But not everybody gets into that. Not everybody is people focused. There's a lot of leaders that are focused on the bottom line. Nothing wrong with that. That's part of leadership, is helping your company. And this is whether you own your own company or you work for somebody. I want to tell you, and you'll hear this mantra from me all the time, There is not a CEO out there that doesn't have a boss. You can sit and say, you know, I can't think of his name, Michael Eisner with Disney, he doesn't have a boss. Absolutely has a board of directors. Stephen Jobs, same thing, board of directors. Everybody, and if it's your own company, your boss is your customer. If you make your customer mad, then you're dead in the water. So everybody has a boss. So, you know, kind of push that to the wayside. The key is to figure out which person everybody's following, which person is looking at you one way and looking to them the other way. And again, when you go to clean house, you have to look in your house first. You have to look at yourself first. When you see something in your team that you think is dysfunctional, look at yourself. Are you creating that dysfunction? Because a lot of times, and I hate to say this, but a lot of times dysfunction comes from the leader. And I know that. I mean, when I became, you know, CEO of Arizona Alpha, I couldn't even lead my dog. And I had to lead people. I had to lead a board. I had to lead members. I had to lead vendors. I had to lead donors. I couldn't lead myself. I was a train wreck. So I had to learn how to be a leader. So every time there was a dysfunction within a team, I first had to look at me to see what am I doing to create this dysfunction. So look at yourself first. What are you doing? Are you subconsciously favoring somebody? Are you letting these people do, you know, these people really like to do this job and these people, you know, don't? That's okay to separate like that. But if everybody doesn't like to do this particular job, whatever it is, so you let the most vocal people that are perceived as your favorites get out of the work, you're creating that dysfunction. And that's the hardest thing, is to look at yourself and say, what am I doing? What signals am I sending? What body language am I sending? What are people saying about me? I mean, that's important. What is your team saying when you're not there? And that's, I mean, you've got to listen, because the people that aren't coming to you to tell you stuff, the people that you hardly ever talk to, are the people you need to talk to. Even if it's walking the hallways every day to say, once a day, just to say good morning to everybody. And I know if you're running a big ship, this is hard. But then if you're running a big ship, not really, because you have your department heads, so you go around and you talk to them. And then maybe once a month you walk the floor to talk to everybody. Because you want to be visible. You want people to know that they can come to you. Because you want that one person to come to you and say, you know, I don't know if you know this, but so-and-so has been talking smack about you for months, and you didn't realize it. You don't know this is going on. But I've seen you on the floor, and you seem so nice, you know, I really want to help you out. But if you stand backish and aloof from everybody, and you only talk to your department heads, you only hear what the department heads are telling you. And I guarantee you, they're not going to tell you the ship's sinking. Because if the ship's sinking, it gets hung on to them. So no ship sinking. They're going to tell you how wonderful everything is. And you're going to ask other department heads, hey, do you think so-and-so's a good leader? Because I'm kind of thinking, I kind of get a different vibe. Oh, yeah. Because department heads stick together. People stick together. It's better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. The peer group you have in the workplace is better than the peer group that you may get. So if you're dealing with dysfunction team, the first thing you need to do is look within, look at yourself. Are you creating this dysfunction? Second thing is, when you have meetings, look at who's not talking and why aren't they talking? What's their body language? I mean, if you have somebody sitting in your department head meetings like this, then ignoring them, you're doing nobody any justice. You need to take the bull by the horn, and I think the hardest things to do as a leader is to confront people, because you don't want to get into arguments, you don't want to get into them going around and badmouthing you. But when you take charge of the team, when you take charge of everybody that comes in contact with you, the rest of the people see that, and they themselves will take care of the cancer. They themselves will take care of the bad apple. But they have to know that you have a willingness to have their back, and you have a willingness to look at the issues. So look within, look for who is kind of the person hiding in the weeds, and then try to figure out who the cancer is. A lot of times they're one and the same. And if you have an inner circle, look at your inner circle. a lot of times that's where it's starting, is you've got somebody in your inner circle that isn't as they portray themselves to be. And that's the hardest thing to admit. But, you know, it's going to be you, it's going to be your inner circle, it's going to be somebody, you know, there's many rings to leadership. The chances of it being somebody on the very outside ring is possible, but they're not usually that vested. It's usually somebody on the inside of the ring. So just take a time and look at everybody. It's hard. It's really hard. If you need any help, let me know. Email me, direct message me. I'd be happy to help you. I'll be putting together, I think I mentioned it on June 6th, June 8th, a 5-day leadership challenge for Enchanted Leadership, and then be debuting some programs in that. I really am so passionate about leadership. I am so passionate about personal development, and they go hand in hand, because as you develop as a leader, you develop as a person. You're going to meet very few great leaders that were kind of schmoes as people. I mean, I'm not saying they don't exist, because schmoes exist. But for the most part, great leaders are usually good people. They may be very quiet. I mean, not everybody's charismatic. Not everybody's outgoing. Not everybody, you know, likes to run up the hill and tell everybody come with them. But great leaders are the most reflective leaders. They're the ones that look at themselves first before they look outside. They make sure they're taking care of business at home. So let me know what you think. I look forward to talking to you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.